If everything you experience is filtered, then who are you without the filter? Everything you experience is being interpreted. You do not see reality directly. You see reality mixed with memory, fear, desire, identity, past experiences, opinions, and psychological conditioning. Someone ignores your message. One person feels rejected, another feels relieved, another does not care. The same event, different experiences. Why? Because the event is not creating suffering, the filter is. The filter is the psychological layer through which you experience life, your beliefs, your wounds, your ambitions, your fears, your self image. And after years of living through this filter, you begin to think the filter is you. So when I ask, who are you without the filter? I am asking, who are you without thought constantly describing reality, without memory constantly comparing, without identity constantly narrating, without the mind saying, I am this kind of person? Because thoughts are known by you, emotions are known by you, reactions are known by you, which means they cannot fundamentally be you. They appear, they disappear, but something remains aware of all of them. That silent awareness is always present, but it is buried beneath constant mental noise. The mind cannot understand this fully because the mind itself is part of the filter, and that is why silence feels uncomfortable to most people. Without constant thinking, the constructed identity starts weakening. So, the real question is not how do I become something? The real question is what remains when everything falls becomes quiet. Imagine a man who has worn colored glasses since birth, red glasses. He has never removed them even once. So when he looks at the sky, he says, the sky is red. When he looks at love, he sees fear mixed into it. When he looks at success, he sees comparison. When he looks at himself, he sees judgment. One day someone tells him, the world is not red, your glasses are. But the man argues, how can that be? I see red everywhere. Of course he does, because he has mistaken the filter for reality. This is the human condition. Everything you experience passes through layers: memory, conditioning, trauma, desire, fear, culture, language, ego, past experiences. You never meet life directly, you meet your interpretation of life. A woman says one sentence, 10 people hear 10 different meanings. Why? Because nobody is hearing reality, they are hearing through themselves. One person hears rejection, another hears disrespect, another hears nothing at all. The event is neutral, the filter creates the suffering, and the deepest illusion is this: you think the filter is you. You say, this is my personality, this is just who I am, this is my nature. No, that is accumulated conditioning. You are like a window covered in years of dust, believing the dust is the glass. So when I ask, who are you without the filter? I'm not asking for a philosophical answer. I am pointing towards something terrifying. Because without the filter, your entire psychological identity collapses. No story, no self image, no past, no becoming, no role to perform. And the mind hates this. Because the mind survives through labels. It wants to say, I am this kind of person, I am successful, I am spiritual, I am broken, I am healing. The ego would rather be miserable than disappear. So, who are you without the filter? Look carefully, not intellectually, directly, between two thoughts or one brief instant, before memory returns, before identity speaks, before the narrator enters. Something is there, silent, aware, unmoving. It does not need a name. In fact, the moment you name it, the filter has already returned. There was once a king who lived inside a palace made entirely of mirrors. Every wall reflected him, every hallway repeated his image endlessly. And because he had seen his reflection his entire life, he believed the reflection was himself. One day, a traveler entered the palace. The traveler looked at the king and asked, who are you? The king laughed, I am this man who see before you. I am the ruler of this kingdom. I am my victories, my wounds, my memories, my name. The traveler smiled gently. No, those are only reflections. The king became irritated. What nonsense! I can see myself everywhere. The traveler walked toward one of the mirrors and struck it with a stick. The glass shattered. And for the first time in his life, the king panicked because a strange thing happened. A reflection disappeared, yet he remained. The king stood frozen. The traveler shattered another mirror, then another. Titles disappeared, memories disappeared, pride disappeared, pain disappeared, stories disappeared. Every mirror carried an identity. I am important, I am wounded, I am intelligent, I am attractive, I am a failure, I must become more. One by one, they broke. And with every shattered mirror, the king felt closer to death. Not physical death, something far more terrifying, the death of who he imagined himself to be. Soon the palace was almost empty. The king fell to his knees, trembling. "Stop," he whispered. "If all the mirrors disappear, what will remain of me?" The traveler sat beside him quietly. Then he said, "Have you not noticed? The mirrors require you to exist, but you never required the mirrors." Silence filled the palace. Not ordinary silence, the kind of silence that exists before thought touches reality. The king looked around. For the first time, there was nothing left to reflect himself through. No labels, no identity, no story, and yet something remained. Something undeniable, something unmoving, something that had been present before every reflection appeared. The traveler stood and began walking away. The king called after him, "What is this thing that remains?" The traveler turned once more and smiled. "The moment I name it, you will turn it into another mirror. If everything you experience is filtered, then who are you without the filter? Not your thoughts, not your reactions, not your identity. Then what remains?" You ask, if everything is filtered, then who am I without the filter? But notice something. The one asking the question is itself part of the filter. The mind wants an answer it can hold, a conclusion, a spiritual identity, a beautiful sentence to decorate the present self. But what you are cannot be captured by thought. Thought can only describe objects, things, memories, experiences, labels. And all of those are known to you. You say, "My thoughts, my emotions, my identity, my suffering, my ambition." Good. If they are yours, then they cannot be you. The cloud is not the sky. The movie is not the screen. You have spent your whole life staring at movement, never noticing that which never moves. Thoughts move, emotions move, identity changes, beliefs change, faces age, desires mutate, but something has remained untouched through all of it. The same you that looked through the eyes at age 7 looks through them now. Not the personality, not the preferences, not the biography, the silent witnessing presence. But the mind immediately corrects this understanding. It says, "Ha, I am consciousness, I am awareness, I am pure being." And now spirituality becomes another identity costume, another filter. You are not meant to conceptually know what remains. You are meant to see directly what is false. Truth is not something added, it is what remains when falsehood stops. A dirty window does not need a better view, it needs the dirt removed. The filter is memory, conditioning, language, fear, comparison, psychological time, the constant narration in the head. And because the narration never stops, you mistake narration for self. This is why silence feels uncomfortable to most people. Because without constant mental movement, the constructed self begins dissolving and the ego experiences that as death. That is why humans cling to noise, music, phones, relationships, ambition, drama, endless stimulation. Not because they enjoy life, but because silence threatens the imaginary person they have spent decades manufacturing. So, who are you without the filter? Not a thing, not an identity, not a spiritual achievement, not someone enlightened. You are what remains when the noise ends. And the mind cannot look at that directly because the mind itself is the noise. The tragedy of human life is not that people suffer, it is that they mistake the noise inside their mind for who they are. So they spend decades trying to improve the noise, decorate the noise, heal the noise, protect the noise, without ever questioning the one who is listening to it. Thoughts are constantly moving, identity is constantly changing, emotions rise and fall like weather. Yet something in you has remained untouched through all of it, silent, aware, present. Not as an idea, not as spirituality, not as philosophy, as a direct fact. The filter is the psychological fog between you and reality, and most people never realize they are living inside it. They do not see life, they see interpretations of life. And the moment the filter becomes quiet, even briefly, there is an extraordinary stillness, not created, not practiced, not achieved. It was already there, buried beneath the endless narration of the mind. So the search was never about becoming someone new. It was about seeing what was false so clearly that it falls away on its own. And when the false falls away, what remains does not need a name.